Hello everyone and welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name's Michael and I'm bitten by a radioactive book. Today is Tic Tac Tuesday and I'm doing the Legend of Zelda tag. This tag was originally created by Laurie and Kitty Books and I was tagged by the lovely Samantha from Novels and Nonsense, and I leave the information of both of their channels down below. So, let's get into the questions. The first question is, Legend of Zelda, your favorite classic? I'm not a huge classic reader, so I've read a few German classics in the past for school, and the one that stuck with me the most, or the one I liked the most, was The Sandman by E.T.R. Hoffmann. And yeah, I really enjoyed that story. It's a bit of a romantic horror story. The romantic not in the modern sense of romance, but really in romantic, the time period. And yeah, it was really creepy and I really enjoyed that. Question 2 is The Adventure of Link, a sequel that was just as good or even better than the original. And for me that would be The Black Lung Captain, the second book in the Tales of the Catty J series by Chris Wooding. The first book, Retribution Falls, is already really good, but I have the feeling that with the second book, Chris Wooding kind of achieved something even better, where the characters come even more or have more possibilities to shine, and he's more confident in his writing already. So yeah, The Black Lung Captain is maybe even the strongest book of the quartet. Question 3 is Link's Awakening, the saddest book you ever read. That is always kind of difficult. I'm not sure if I read how many sad books in the sense of sad books. I'm going with The Forge of Darkness here by Stephen Erickson because it has some really disturbing scenes in it that are actually also very sad if you let them get to you. So yeah, I take The Forge of Darkness. Question 4, Ocarina of Time, a book where the main character matures. One of my favorite books of last year was Bloodsong by Anthony Ryan, and yeah, it is a coming of age story with a great kind of pacing, and I had the feeling that is a really good book to see a character mature over the ages. Question 5, Majora's Mask, a book where time is an important element. I have a perfect book for this, but I can't tell you, because telling you that it's about time travel or that time travel is involved would give away too much of the plot. So you don't get to see that really great book, but you're going to get to see another great series. I've talked about the Chronicles of Dragonlance, the first trilogy of Dragonlance before, but now I'm taking the second trilogy of Dragonlance by Margaret Wise and Tracy Hickman. It's the Legend of Dragonlance, and the books involved are Time of the Twins, War of the Twins, and Test of the Twins. And within these books, the characters do time travel as well. So I take the whole Dragonlance Legends series. Question 6 is Oracle of Ages Seasons, a duology or two books that don't get the attention they deserve. I'm taking The Sundering by Jacqueline Carey, made up of Banewrecker and Godslayer. This is a duology that is always talked about as what if Tolkien had decided to tell The Lord of the Rings from Sauron's perspective? Because we're we are seeing the perspective of like a villain, the evil villain, who is like tossed aside by his other gods, and now the other gods all send out heroes to destroy him and his minions. And we're seeing the book, yeah, from his perspective, and the perspectives from his minions, and these minions are also very interesting characters, like evil dragons or like an evil sorceress. And yeah, by seeing the conflict from their kind of side, we get a little bit of perspective on the conflict, and that is really interesting. Question 7 is Wind Waker, a book revolving around the sea in some way. I'm taking the Red Wolf Conspiracy here, the first book in the Chartrand Voyage by Robert W. S. Reddick. And that is a very interesting book. The Chartrand is the biggest ship of its time, so it's a fantasy series. And the ship goes on a voyage, and in the prologue we learn that the ship kind of sinks, maybe a bit like the Titanic. And yeah, we are going to see the events that lead to that. And it's an epic fantasy. It has like so on board we have the princes, we have like different races like sentient rats, we have like little people who are a society on board as well. So it's very interesting, highly imaginative, yeah, and of course, as the main part of the story plays on the ship, it's evolving around the sea. Question 8 is Four Swords, a book or series with the best fandom. And once again, I have to talk about Steven Erikson's Malazan Book of the Fallen series, because the fandom is really, really great. The fans are really, really dedicated. There are large forum posts dissecting the whole narrative of Steven Erikson, giving meaning to almost every sentence in this 10,000 pages yeah, kind of epic work. And it's really, really interesting how many things and details all these people are bringing forth to light, and it's kind of amazing what you can get out of this book if you're dedicated enough. Question 9 is The Minish Cap, a book that reminds you of your childhood or when you were little. And this is Meki for me. It's yeah, a series about this Quill who runs around with his friends and yeah, has adventures. And the first one is Meki in the Land of Milk and Honey. And but the series had a large number of books, I think about 15, 20, I'm not sure. I have a lot of them. Question 10, Twilight Princess, a book with a dark theme. I'm going with Memories of Ice here, the third book in Steven Erikson's Malazan Book of the Fallen series, because it has some of the darkest scenes of the series, and yeah, some really, really dark and disturbing themes. When I think about what happens to some of the characters, yeah, really dark, really dark. Question 11 is Skyward Sword, a book that was difficult to get through. For me, that would be The Silmarillion by J.R. Tolkien. The writing style is more of like reading the Bible, or reading like a really heavy, dense philosophy textbook. So the language is not really accessible. The way it is written, almost like a history book, and that's what it actually is, a history book of the world of Middle-earth. And there is, I don't think that there's really plot. It's more of retellings or tellings of the of the legends. And yeah, when I read this, I was like 18, 19, so my English wasn't by far at the level I'm at now, so that was really, really dense and difficult to get through, and I didn't finish it. Question 12 is Hyrule Warriors, most anticipated upcoming release. For me, that would be the Dreadworm by Miles Cameron, the third book in the Traitor Sun cycle. I loved both the Red Knight and the Fell Sword, and I can't wait until October when the third book in the series comes out. And question 13 is VU title, who do you name as tag? I'm not going to tag anyone specifically. If you haven't done this tag and want to do this tag, please feel free to do so. It's a great tag and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, if you think, oh, The Legend of Zelda, that is something for me, feel tagged. So, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this tag video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you want to see more of me, subscribe to my channel. If you want to know what's coming up on my channel, look inside the description box. There's a little segment there called On the Horizon. I wish you a good day and hope you get bitten by a really good book too. Bye.